Next up, we've got Handle, and presenting are Sean Carolyn and Jonathan McCoy. Handle. All right, here we go.
Over the next 12 minutes, 250,000 emails will land in your collective inboxes. Try to resist them, because we are here to help. My name is Sean Carolyn, CEO of Handle and Managing Director at Menlo Ventures. And this is my co-founder and our VP of Product, Jonathan McCoy. Handle was created to battle this onslaught that causes us so much pain, emanating from here, the work inbox. Unlike email triage on a mobile device, this is where the real work gets done, a computer. Globally, there are 900 million knowledge workers spending much of their week on email, feeling overloaded and overwhelmed. So our team set out to regain control, to chart a path to the coveted state of inbox zero. And guess what? We got there. Our first clients were zeroing their inboxes an average of 5.5 times per week. But they and we were not going home happy. It turns out inbox zero is a false idol. Trying to get to it means you're spending your time in the wrong place. The real goal became clear. Our focus should be on our priorities. But how? When they arrive in email along with so much other stuff, and there's no visible distinction. So we asked ourselves, what would that look like? An interface that let us identify these priorities as they arrived. Not algorithmically, but using our own judgment. Priorities have multiple emails. They have a name, an importance. Personal notes, maybe a deadline. And if you want them to be completed, they require a block of time. So we went back to work and finally found ourselves getting happier. Today we reveal Handle, the world's first priority engine. Now let's see how it works. Handle is a browser app on the desktop and a native app on iOS. Instead of a crowded inbox, you see an ordered list of priorities ranked by importance. Must-dos are at the top. To manipulate these priorities, we've created a powerful tool we call the handlebar. The handlebar was inspired by Siri, where I led Menlo's early investment. Siri was not about voice. Siri was about capturing intent and delivering action. The handlebar is even faster, capturing intent at the speed of thought by using the keyboard. Now we'll walk you through a typical workday.
So I start with my task list. There's 2 musts here, but the Wednesday meeting prep I'll do tomorrow. I use the handlebar to hit the S key to snooze it one day. And it's off my list. My top priority is drafting a feature spec. I drag it over to my 5 p.m. slot on my calendar and block away 60 minutes. Beyond email tasks, I store new ideas in Handle as well. I hit the N key, capture new task, assign a priority, and input my idea. It goes right on my list. By having everything on one list, I am able to make better decisions with my time.
With his priorities under control, Jonathan moves to his inbox. Email triage is a magical experience in Handle. You see the 5 most common commands, but there are 13 in all.
So this first email has no action, but I want it to show up in search results. So I hit A to archive. This is a receipt from my expense report. I'll hit L and start typing receipts. The labels come from my Gmail account, and it's in the right place now. Normal email functionality is supported as well. I just hit R for reply. Thanks, Mel. And it's sent. Now this is a task that will take some more time. I pick a priority and give it a name. In this case, process bugs. hit T to put it on my task list, and there it is, ready for execution. This next email is a newsletter that I no longer need. I simply hit U to unsubscribe, and it's out of my inbox. Now here's an email from Nick wanting to meet later today. I'm pretty heads down right now, so I'm going to use the no thanks command. What you're looking at here is a template that I created to ask people for a rain check. Simply type in Nick's name, send, and I'm sure he'll understand. Finally, here's an email I like to read on my iPad tonight. With the handles push command, I can read it on Evernote or Pocket. So I simply press P, and it's out of my inbox. Great, inbox 0. Now I'm ready for some real work.
Jonathan has time for a coffee break before getting started on his feature spec. Here we see Handle Mobile on the iPhone.
So when I'm away from my desk, I can always keep an eye on my priorities. Here's my list right here. In fact, go over to today. Here's my today list. But if I have an idea, I can simply use handles capture, pressing plus, send an idea to myself, and create a task or email it to my inbox. In this case, I'll send it to my inbox. Next time I triage, it'll be right there. Those ideas, I don't lose them. I get them in the right place.
With a clear mind and back at his desk, Jonathan begins.
Cool, so now I get to focus on working on this new feature. So I click on it, and I've got everything here to execute. I've left myself what needs to be done, the priority, any comments or links related for this work, and all the email communications related to it. I don't have to switch context. I can jump in and be productive immediately. A bit later, and I'm done. Right here from this task view, I can email my team, say, check it out, and send. Lastly, I hit C to complete. I've got all my important work done for the day. It's another day handled.
As excited as we are, the disruption is just beginning. Ultimately, we are building an operating system for your life. Most things done with a single keystroke, and for everything else, Handle guiding us to answer the simple but perplexing question: what should I do next? Please come to our booth or sign up now at handle.com and make today your day. Thank you very much.
Great.
So from one VC to another, I appreciate attacking the inbox avalanche and going after that. The process around prioritizing emails and tasks seems fairly manual. You have to go in and do it yourself. Is there any notion of machine learning or learning over time? For example, Munchery is always going to be a receipt. Do you ever even need to have that in your inbox?
Absolutely. I think there's some stuff that's in the roadmap in machine learning, but interestingly, we found that people read all their email. They just don't know what to do with it. So just getting through it is not the problem. It's really deciding which are the emails that you're going to be attentive to. And for a lot of knowledge workers, you're making a decision of what not to do. So having clarity of what are the must-do things that I absolutely have to get done, and the rest kind of naturally fall off the screen is a natural way to get the work done. Is there any one of these features that you think is itself a game changer, or do you think it's the package of features that allows me to manage everything? That's a really good question. We started out literally building the Inbox Zero product, and it wasn't enough. That was the basic email triage. So it really is the package of features. We actually have a name for it internally. We call it the Handle habit. So it's capture, triage, plan, and then do. And you really have to do that full cycle to kind of manage a day. It was in many ways inspired by David Allen's Getting Things Done. The way you just zero all of the inboxes as they arrive, have one authoritative list of all the priorities, and then you can make really good decisions about where you want to spend your time.
Can you help connect me from this product to deciding what I should do next? I have a very good command of what I should do next. I don't have a good command of my inbox, and I don't really see the connection to how solving the latter helps me with the former. Nor do I think I need help with the former.
It depends on the job. I mean, it has to be, you have to have a job where a lot of your important work items arrive in email. And if they do, then usually people see a bunch of other stuff too, and their attention sometimes diverted from that most important email. Sometimes it's emotionally difficult to deal with, so they work on other stuff, and they're just not working on that number one priority.
So, do you see this as a product you're going to sell into enterprises, or is this a product you consider the consumer will buy?
The initial product will be free. Basic email triage, basic task management, basic mobile client will be free. We imagine initially having a pro version that has some of the more enterprise-oriented features. You can imagine connectivity to Salesforce.com or things of that sort. And then over time, if a company standardizes on this, I mean, this is the crown jewels. This is all of the things that all their people are doing. So we're imagining we'll have to add enterprise administration types of features over time, but that's a ways off.
I mean, I thought a lot about this email problem. I think, like most people here, email is the bane of our existence, and we're buried in it, and there's only so much time we can give to it, and different people have different ways of dealing with it, including therapy. But for the vast majority of people in this country, they get between 4 to 6 emails a day from people they know, and then 50 spam or whatever. So, and that's why something like Facebook messaging works for them. So this is really a professional product. So already, if this is everyone who gets email, you're focused as this group.
Absolutely.
And if you start having a free version, then you're down to a smaller group that's going to pay for it. And so my suggestion is get to revenue early and find out what people are willing to pay for, because I think the addressable market is fairly small. It's just it's kind of like we all bump into them and know them. So that's my concern with products like this. It's how do you build it to be a broad enough business?
Yeah.
If I'm a Handle user and I'm communicating with another Handle user, is there any magic you can do because you have my inbox, my calendar, my priorities, and their inbox, calendar, and priorities?
Yes. We don't have that yet. It's in the roadmap, but I think if you look at things like Google Wave, to your point, once you do have people on the same system, there's immense capability. You have to have very collaborative conversations, share multimedia. So collaboration features we expect to be a really robust part of the roadmap.
You compared this to Google Wave?
Well, if you remember what happened there, nobody showed up.
It's the segue of email systems?
Too soon.
But you got to meet people where they are with their inboxes. That was the big difference. Is there was no flow there. People's attention is in their inboxes right now.
Great. That's Handle. Thank you guys very much. That's great. Thank you.